Well, say good evening to Richard. Good evening to Stuart. How are you doing? Good to see you guys on the live tonight. It's very exciting. We're going to go through how to change your global colors in WordPress, especially on our agency theme. We'll be getting going in a moment or two. Looking forward to it. Well, hello, good evening, and welcome wherever you are around the world. It's always good to be here. How are you doing, Robert?
Well, as you know, I'm still recovering from last weekend, but I'm going to do the best I can. And here and there, I'm just going to mute myself because I'll be coughing now and then.
Yeah.
But I ran, Stephen, just to recap, I did a 21-hour round trip by myself to drive up to South Carolina, 1,000 miles, round trip in my truck. And there was a cold front that came through. Well, years ago, I live in Florida. It's always warm here. You never use heat, right? So years ago, the mechanic says your heating evaporator in the dashboard is rotten out, and that's why you're getting water in, because the truck was leaking inside. And I couldn't figure out why. And he said, it just corroded out. You have to replace the whole thing. And I said, well, what does that look like? He says, like $800 to $1,000, to change that thing out. And I said, what does it do? It says, it just puts heat in the cab. I said, I don't need heat in Florida. So I said, can we just cap it off? He said, yeah, absolutely. So I've been driving all that way for years, right? So I take the truck and I do this run up there, and there's this massive cold front that comes through, freezing temperatures, and I have no heat in the truck. So I did the whole drive, froze my butt off, and I got sick, basically because it was so cold. But
yeah,
anyways, these are things that happen, right?
Well, it's certainly cold here. We had snow this week here in Somerset, which, I think we finally paid our snow tax, because we don't normally get snow for years, and this year we had some. So only for one day, mind. It only lasted a day, and then by the next day it was gone. But all the roads were nice and slippery. I'm just wondering if anyone else in the UK ended up getting a little bit of snow anywhere. So Laurie says,
Laurie got in Denver, which I'm sure she got in Denver.
Yeah. And Stuart had none. So, but that's because you haven't paid your snow tax. That's the problem. You see, you got to pay your snow tax to get snow, and just cold in Weatherby. That's what Richard's saying. That's how it is, isn't it? It's cold everywhere in England at the moment, and I've had my little heater. I had to buy a new heater because the one in the office gave up the ghost and was only blowing out cold air in the end. So I've got a new one out there. But it's all good. It's all exciting, and let's just do a quick hello to everyone. So Bob's in the room, Bradley, Colin, Laurie, Richard, and Stuart. And if you're watching in any of the rooms, hello, good evening, and welcome. And those that are from the Inner Circle, if you want to be able to get on here, go to the Inner Circle Facebook group. The link's below the video, and you can get in that way. We're going to try and set up this week an email list. So I know one or two people don't always get notifications from Facebook. So I'm going to try and set up a special email list for Inner Circle members where you can get notified when we are going live. So it's awesome. Colin says, some snow that turned to ice for several days in Northern Ireland. See, pay your snow tax, you get snow. Does it ever snow in Florida?
Oh, I think it snowed in Florida twice in my lifetime, which was a dusting that I don't even think it stayed on the ground for a few minutes.
A few minutes, it just landed and turned to slush.
I mean, northern Florida probably gets some, the Georgia-Florida border, but not South Florida.
Yeah. Well, tonight I wanted to go over changing the colors on our agency theme. So let's do that and go over that, and then we'll switch to the Inner Circle only. How about that?
Sounds good.
So let me just make sure I'm sharing the right
So maybe we
thing.
should talk about what is the agency theme.
Well, this is it. Can everyone see my screen all right?
Yes, we can.
Right, let's just try and get out my box on the screen now. I've always got this. Maybe try and see if I can move it. It's a really annoying feature in Zoom that you can't move the boxes in the way. I'll just leave it there. It's fine. So this, for those that don't know, this is the DFY Magic Themes agency site, and we built this to make it easier for people to be able to set up their local agency website business. And the cool thing about this is the fact that we've added down here all the current themes that are available to buy from DFY Magic Themes. And if we go into one of these portfolios, let's just say I want to go to pest control. And there's a link here that shows the demos, and these are all generic. So anyone who's setting up a web agency, you won't have to buy any of these unless you've got a customer interested in them. And this is just the pest control site we've loaded there with all the content preloaded. These are mass location websites that can easily be set up. I'd probably say I can install a theme in an hour, and then it's a case of going through the rest of the settings for everyone. And we've got some exciting news. I've been doing nothing but recording this week, and so we're going to have the Build, Rent, Rank course being released. So start next week. My plan is on Monday to put a note in the group to everyone to give everyone early beta access to what's already in there. So keep an eye in the Facebook group for Monday. There'll be a link for Inner Circle members and a coupon code to get it for free. That's for Inner Circle members only.
So the ease of use part is that you have a completely built theme with content.
Yeah.
You add your information to it, and then you have 7 demo sites. They're live demos that people can click on and go look at and touch the buttons and move the pages. And if they're interested in any of those, they're going to contact you. They're not contacting us. No. It's your agency website. So they'll contact you, and then you'll work out what you want to do with them from there. But that's the whole idea, to make it simpler for you to be up and running literally in a few hours, if you put the effort into it. And, websites are a live, breathing entity that you can always tweak and add stuff and keep going with them. But it's the point of getting something built, not being held back, not letting all the roadblocks and potholes stop you from doing the basic build to get started.
No, and absolutely. And we've even got the blog post section on here. I did a test post the other day on this site. This is going to become a live site for the local area. And I've already added in here the local phone number, which goes to answer phone at the minute, and email address, and all the contact details, which all fill in very easily inside of the Magic Code Builder, which we can go into at a later time in more detail. But tonight I wanted to touch on changing these colors out on the site. So the quick and easy way to change out colors on one of our sites is to come in and come down to Appearance and Customize. Once this loads, we want to go down to Colors and Fonts and Colors. And these are the 2 main colors in here, as well as some of the blacks and what have you. So if I want to change this area here to become a different color, let's just say I want to make it red, I can very quickly switch that over, and now I've got a red site all the way down. So you've got red colors here. I can change the blues. So let's see how many blues that we've got. Blue text there. Let's see if that changes accordingly to green, let's say. You can see now the text has changed to green. So anywhere where even the backgrounds, so this is background and that text at the top there. So you can make these whatever color you want. We can change I think that one changes to a different color again. This is on the menu. We got red matching red. So I remember what that one did there. Let's have a look and see if, oh, there we go. So you can see now this is an overlay color. It's a case of playing around with all these different colors, and you can end up with a completely different looking site to your original one. Now, one thing I want to
it even keeps in the blends. So Steve, because there's a lot of people that don't get this, and I'd like to be clear. you can use global colors on all of your builds, which we prefer to do because of what you just showed. But if you didn't know that existed, there's other parts in the build sections where you're actual changing the color of a particular box, and it's not in the global colors. Those will stay whatever color you made them, even though you changed the global colors. So when you're starting to change things in areas that aren't in the global section, beware that they won't stay with the global colors when they change. Like
And
there's one section that does everything automatically, and there's one section that you can change it to be one color that's like I don't know, just something that you want to be a different color that'll never change.
Show that in a minute, Robert.
Oh, awesome. So ease of use is the global colors. That was really cool because you changed the entire site
in 2 clicks of a button. Every single
two clicks of a button.
Every single page will change. The whole site, any page you're on, will change to those colors. Really important. Before you go changing your global colors, make sure you do a backup. Either use WP Vivid, which is free to use to do a backup of your site, or if you're an all-in-one migration user, use one of those. But do a backup of your site before you play around. Every time I go to do something to my site, the first thing I do each day is I go in, I do a backup. Because if I screw something up badly, or I delete a page, oh no, I deleted that page, I can't get it back. You can roll it back for that day, and you've only got, at the worst case scenario, you've got a day's work to do. And if you do an awful lot of work on your site in the morning, do a backup, right? And then come back in the afternoon after lunch to do some more work, because then you lose, the more times you back up, the less time you've got if you mess it up. But let's come into one of the pages, and we'll edit the home page. So I haven't saved those colors because I haven't decided what color I'm doing the site yet, to be honest. But we'll come into the edit mode and we'll have a look at the page, and then we'll show where the individual colors are on the site. So let's just say, for an example, that I wanted this box here to change its colors. All right, we come down this side, and I've got to remember where it is now, Robert, because it's been a little while since I've done this. Let's have a look. Media settings, container settings. Here we are, remembered. So under container settings, we can now change this here from a global color to a local color. So I can make that blue, and you can see now that the outer edge is blue. And if I come back to container settings again, we can now change this to a different color again. So that one box is the only one that will change on those colors on there. All right. The background colors, I think, are elsewhere on the page, and we'll see if we can find them in a minute. Let's have a look, see if we can find them. I think they're normally on the page rather than anything else. So let's have a look, see if we can find. This did an update not long ago, and I can't remember where it is. But generally speaking, I would personally change the global colors rather than anything else. So let's have a look at. Let's make sure we've got the right block. So info block, container settings.
Usually each container has its own settings for color.
Yeah. Icon background. Let's see what happens when we change that then. Icon border. I will find our shadow. It'd probably be in here. Let's see if that changes it at all. No. I will find out where it is and come back to that, because they've done an update lately, and normally I would see on here background colors. It could also actually could be in the whole section. That's the image, and we want overlay normally. Overlay set. Let's try this out and see. That's the overlay color for that there. So if I wanted to make it green, normally we can update that, but I can't remember where the color is off the top of my head. I will find exactly where that is, because this is a sort of a shadow fill on it, and I can't see where it is right now. But the main thing to remember the quicker way to change the colors, like I said, is come into appearance, customize, and just do the whole site out. Change the whole site very quickly, because this is the quickest way to change these colors. We can change buttons as well. So we got background colors, we got border colors, button shadows, hover. So we can change a lot of this inside of here without having to do the individual sections. So I can just change that to blue.
The nice thing about the global colors is it does it on every page.
Yeah.
You would spend so much time trying to figure all this all out. Each individual element that's colored or bordered or this or that. When you do it on the global, and it just changes on every page, the whole site stays consistent to the 2 colors or 3 colors that you picked.
I mean, look how quickly I've changed my agency site from a green site to a blue site. Really, really quickly. And while we're in here, that we'll go into the MCB plugin, and we can come into company info. And in here is where I can change the company name, for an example. All I'd literally do is change this from Crewcon Web Services to whatever I want it to be. And then when it updates and we visit the site, this here on here will say, lower down, let's go to the best, quickest way to show it down here. Crewcon Web Design will change to whatever you want it to be. And same with the phone number, email address, and the main location. And these sites are been put together really well by the devs, and the content ready. And another little tip for you guys, if you say to yourself, actually, I want to change this content here, what you can do, we can hit edit page. And we want to come down to where the content is. And you can see here, some of this is already written in here on this one. So you can simply replace all of this, or you could put your own short code in with the content in. All right. And the location tags are location, and the niche is going to be, in this case, the web agency. And it's just a case, if you want to like change one of these keywords here, go and look for the short code. So we can grab that one there. We can come back. Come in here, all short codes. What I'll say is as well, do screen options and up this to like 600 or more, right? Because I find it easier. I just apply that and let that update. To use my 3 little dots, I do find, and I paste in the short code, and it jumps straight to it. And that's one way I prefer to do things. Then we can edit this keyword here, and we can change this to whatever we want it to be. So these sites are all set up with tons of codes in them, and it's just a case of having a look and having a little play. Another thing you can do as well is literally just replace the section of if there's a section you're not happy with, you can just put it on page for your own website. So where there's a block, you can edit that block, clear all the text out, and just put your own text in. The idea behind these is to get you up and running very quickly, and then you can tweak and play around afterwards. And that's the exciting thing with it. So let me just check the chat for any other comments, and you show how to sort the contact form. And how do we change the map? Oh, map, I can show you that. How do you mean by the contact form, Richard? You can unmute yourself if you'd like and talk to us.
Yeah, it's you can hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just I've sorted the email out. I've done the agency site, and it's all up and running, apart from I can't seem to get the contact form. I've changed the email, filled the contact form with the test email, done it, and nothing happens. Now, I did have problems with my own server. I've sorted all that. And so I just want to, obviously, it's up and running, it's live, apart from if somebody does the contact form. What we'll
do in a minute.
One
minute, Robert. What we're going to do in a minute is say goodbye to all the free groups, go to the inner circle only, all right, and then we can look over that for you. All right, and also I'll go over the map as well in the inner circle for Bradley. So, but this was really the whole point of this first part for everyone was to show how we can quickly change global colors inside of WordPress. And you can do that on any WordPress site pretty much. If the new theme, the 2023 Gutenberg theme, the menus are different, so you have to look up videos on how to change where they moved it all to now. We use the Kadence theme, and that's much easier to use. So, but what we'll do now is we will switch over to the inner circle, unless there's anything else you want to share at the minute, Robert, with the free groups.
I don't have anything at the moment, but it's a matter about taking action, getting involved, and as you can see, the agency site's already been built with the DFI Magic Themes for anybody that's interested in getting to build, their passive income empires by having the ability to have local businesses renting out their sites, and you become in charge of that for them.
And if you are watching this video in one of the free groups, or on YouTube, put a comment below and say I want to know more, because we are planning a webinar at some point in the next couple of weeks. And if you want to be invited to it to learn more about DFI Magic Themes and what we do, then you're quite welcome to comment below the videos, and that way then we'll look at the comments and we can respond to you accordingly. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to go and find our 30-second switch video, as I call it, and we'll catch up with all the free groups very soon.